Hey guys, welcome to this video and my channel. My name is Heather. I am the owner and creator here at Wicked Whiskey Designs, and today it is all about the dog mom. Look at all of that spangly, sparkly rainbow goodness. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this cup. It is easy and it is fun and you're going to love it. And you don't have a dog, you have a cat, make a cat mom cup. You have a baby monkey, make a baby monkey cup. It's awesome. Make this however you want to make it. I am going to also share down below all of the decals, all of the supplies that I use to make this cup so that you have access to everything that I use. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This channel is new, but I have a ton, and when I say a ton, I mean lists and lists of content that's going to be coming down the way. So you definitely want to get notified of when all of those videos drop, usually on Saturdays. Might be trying for 2 a week, we'll see. And don't forget to hang out to the end of this video. My tips and tricks section is where I share with you all of the little pitfalls and unexpected things and the tips and tricks on how to make this cup as easy as possible. There's also a little bit of rambling, full disclosure, but it's a good time. It's a little more casual, a little more chill. It's fun. So definitely go and check that out as well. I think that's pretty much it for this intro. I'm going to go ahead and get started, show you everything you need to know to make this gorgeous cup, and let's go have some fun. Start with a fully sanded and prepped cup. Go ahead and spray paint your cup in short, light bursts, and once your spray paint is dry, go ahead and move it for epoxy. Next, using a gloved hand, I went ahead and applied a very thin layer of epoxy to my cup. After that, I went ahead and started with the mid-chunky glitter. I just sprinkled it throughout the cup randomly, but I did cover, I would say, 3/4 of the cup. After that, I went ahead and grabbed my chunky glitter of the same color and just basically dumped it all over the entire cup so that it would fill in any of the blank areas where the mid-chunky had not stuck to. Once that layer of epoxy has cured, you're going to go ahead and add another layer of epoxy on to seal your glitter. Once that layer of epoxy is cured, add a second one on to make sure everything is smooth on your cup before moving on to the decal stage. Make sure you are blowing out your bubbles with your torch on every single epoxy layer you are adding. Hey guys, okay, so these are the decals that I'm going to use on my cup. Disregard all of these. These don't have anything to do with anything, but this is what I'm using on my cup. Now, you are probably wondering, why is this all going sideways? One thing you have to keep in mind when you are using rainbow vinyl is depending on the vinyl that you purchase, the colors will run in a different way. I'm trying to do this without losing you as far as my camera goes. Okay, so you see here where the colors are running side to side. Some vinyls will run up and down. Because this is running side to side, what's going to happen is if I don't flip everything to this direction, when I print out, say, a row of paw prints, they're all going to be purple or they're all going to be blue. Whereas if you run them this way, because your vinyl is running side to side, everything's going to come up and be a different color or be super, rainbowy. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions on what that means, hopefully I'll be able to explain it in the next step. But just giving you a little 411, that's where we are. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut all of these out of my rainbow vinyl, and then I'm going to show you how I do an offset. Now, this is probably not the proper way to do an offset, or like the quote unquote right way to do an offset, but it's just kind of how I've learned how to do offset cuts, and hopefully it will translate well and you'll know what I'm talking about. I work on a silhouette. I do not have a Cricut. I feel like you need like a quantum physics degree in how to use a Cricut sometimes. I tried and I just didn't have much luck. So if you have a Cricut and you're smarter than me, hopefully you can go ahead and translate what I'm saying into how to make an offset work in Cricut if you're not aware of how to do that as it is. So that's where we're at. Okay, so we've gone ahead. I'm going to see if I can scoot you up here. We've gone ahead and we've cut our decal out of the rainbow vinyl. So what I'm going to do now, how I offset this, and like I said, it's entirely possible, mostly probable, there's a proper way of cutting or doing an offset. I know there's a proper way because I've tried it before and I got so frustrated because I couldn't make it work that I said, well, I'm just going to go figure out my own way. And that's pretty much what I've done. What I do is, okay, so this is obviously, hopefully you can follow my little mouse. This is obviously what we've already cut out. What I do is I highlight the entire thing, okay, click and drag. I come over here to my offset box. I hit offset. We can see now, scoot you in a bit where everything has the little, you know, the little red outline. This is what we would be offsetting. I come back over, I hit apply. Okay, now, normally what we would do at this point is, let me boost you back out just a bit. Okay, normally what we would do at this point is then drag that offset outline off of the original, and then we would, you know, cut that. Instead, we're not dragging anything anywhere. We're going to hit send, and you can see here where everything is still outlined. Everything is still with the original. And what that's going to do is it is going to cut basically an offset outline. And then you would go ahead, pull out, say, the negative space with your, you know, your weeding tool, and then that's what's going to create the outline to go around your original decals. I know I'm not explaining that correctly, but hopefully keep watching the video. You'll see what it is I'm talking about. But now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut out all of this in gold, metallic gold, and then this is going to be the outline that's going to go around our original decal. Sorry about the big hand I just had there for you. But hopefully this makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out of, like I said, metallic gold vinyl, and we're going to move on to the next step. Hey guys, I'm not normally a mess in front of my glitter wall. Anyway, all right, so what are we doing? Where are we at? I've got this. We're done with the glittering process here and the epoxy at this point. I went ahead, sanded this down with my electric sander because I like myself. I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to sand chunky glitter with a block. Not to mention my husband takes all the good ones. So I went ahead and sanded this. I grabbed some alcohol on a paper towel, wiped off all the sanding dust. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a craft knife and we're going to take this edge off because you can see where it's all hunky chunky there. And we want to go ahead and take that off, make sure that's, you know, trim that up a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting our decals down. So that is where we are at. That's what we're going to go do. Let's go do it. Okay, so what do we have? We have our cup ready to go. We have both our paw print vinyl and our offset. We have transfer tape. We have our working little, I use this for my, to pick out, weed the decals. It's not sharp. I hate sharp X-Acto knives. I'll cut myself every time, but this one's pretty dull. And of course, the obligatory cup of coffee to keep everything going as per usual. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you are very gently going to remove that excess vinyl from your sheet. You want to be mindful of your decals. You know, definitely take your time or else you're going to pull decals up when you don't want to, especially when you're using the gold because those offset outlines are very delicate. Okay, now, so you see how this is the, I'm hoping you can see this okay. You can see all the paw prints. You can see where everything is cut, okay? What we're going to do next is with our, with my little craft knife here or whatever you use, you're going to pop out all these little insides because this is simply going to be the outline around your paw prints. which are these. So it takes a minute, but it's worth it. Like I said, you're going to pop out the insides of all of this. So let's go get that done. Using a craft knife or a weeding tool, go ahead and start removing the inside of the gold decals so that all is left is an actual outline of the decal that you cut. This is going to be the outline that outlines your rainbow paw prints. Okie dokie. So what are we going to do now? We are going to, we forgot scissors. Stay right there. Okay. Now, what I normally do is do the big decals first. Ah, forgot to do. Okay. And that way it's, you then can put all the other stuff around it, but that way you know exactly where you are with it, so. What I'm going to do is grab the rainbow first. Supposed to weed everything out. Come out. Did I get it? Okay. No, I didn't. Ah! Really? Good, good. Okay. I know everybody has their own technique for doing this. If you do yours in a different way, you know, pull your decals a different way, whatever. Just do you. This is just how I do mine. Just go very slow. Especially on like this particular decal where you have like these super micro thin lines on like the ends. This is just asking for me to completely rip that in half. So, all right, we have our decal. Now, this, we'll put a little decal down upside down. I know me, and I know it's best for me to cut this particular big one out because, again, asking for me to completely jack that up. So, okay. So for these little ones, I am totally fine with grabbing this part first and then laying it on top of its partner and then laying it on the cup. For the big one, I feel like it's smarter to add the rainbow part to the cup first and then add this on top. The reason why is this. I don't know about you, but with my cutter, every once in a while, especially if there's any kind of a little, like the slightest little wave in my vinyl, which obviously we try to avoid, but sometimes it's unavoidable. What's going to happen is my word is going to be off kilter based on this slightly, or like one word will be up a little higher. I don't know. Mine gets janky sometimes. But that being said, to me, for something like this, it's going to be easier to lay the rainbow down. And then if I need to, you know, adjust the words, I can lay them perfectly. The little, you know, slight offset of the words doesn't happen very often, but what I've learned with doing these videos, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the video. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put the rainbow words on here first and then lay this on top. All right. Little homemade cup cradle there. I'm going to go ahead, make sure we're on a very smooth thing going on there. I need to stand up to do this versus sitting, which is what I've been doing. So if I crowd the camera area here, I apologize, but I'm trying to make it straight. So and then very carefully. And another reason why a lot of times on words, when there's more than one, like more than one line of words, that I will do the offset individually separate is especially if you're working on a curve cut. Skinnies are pretty chill, but curves, you know, as soon as you get down near that curve, your words, whereas you're printing your words, you're cutting your words straight, you got a curve. So things can sometimes get wonky, especially if you're working on a decal that goes all the way down the cup. So like I said, that's why a lot of times I will go ahead and just do the offset separate. Straight, kinda shit. Okay, so I went ahead and laid down my vinyl, and it was crooked because it's a little bit awkward doing this, you know, making sure I'm not hitting the camera, making sure I'm in frame. So it was a little bit awkward, and it was crooked, and that's really not a good look on a YouTube channel. So then I was like, hey, let's go ahead and at least show maybe a quick little easy way when doing a big cup like this, with or without a camera, how to make sure it's straight. So grabbed a, this is a water-based pen that I have. It's one of those things where you buy a set off Amazon before you really know what you're looking for, and then you end up with a bunch of stuff that may or may not work for what you need it for. And a little measuring tape. There are people who know how to use the lines on the transfer tape to set everything up perfectly. I just don't work like that. I just don't. So if I'm going to go ahead, oh, hold on, I gotta stand up again. If I want this to be super straight, like we do, I'm gonna sit there and figure out where I want it. And then take my little water-based paint, or my water-based pen, and I'm gonna come down, make a little mark right about there. Can I see that? Yes. And then I'm gonna come over here, make another mark right about there, and that's going to be my guideline. So doing names, usually not that big of a deal. We can get those straight, but big things kind of like this, big surface, YouTube channel, let's go ahead and make sure we get it straight. Moving on. I'm going to pull this over, so even though we have the little things, it's going to go straight this time. It's kind of hard to do when I got the camera here and whatnot. And then slowly peel that up. Yay, straight. Okay. And then those these pen marks, you can literally just wipe them off. Okay, so we're straight. We dig it. Gotta love this channel for teaching moments, huh? All right, next, we're gonna go ahead and add this down on top of here. Okay, so to do this, we can do one of two things. We can either cut each line out separate, transfer tape it, lay it down, or we can transfer tape the entire thing, lay it down, hope for the best. We can also transfer tape the whole thing, lay it down. It doesn't work, we cut out, you know, we cut our lines. So I think we're gonna do that because this is a pretty, actually, this is pretty cool. Like, we're not on like the curve or anything like that, so it might have actually been okay. So we're gonna see where we are. We're gonna go ahead and hit it with transfer tape, try to lay it down, see how close it is. Okay. I'm gonna pull this way just a little bit so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. Now I'm gonna hold this, pull it a little bit more. I am gonna hold this, hover this right over my decal to see if this appears to be lining up, and it does. You want to be very mindful of
this decal, okay? I cannot tell you how many of these, how many cups I've had to start all over with on this process, because I do this and you know, you're holding on to it and your middle is bowing a little bit. So then you're doing this, and next thing you know, your middle sticks to your cup, and then you can't like pull it off clean. Next, you're pulling off everything. Now you're having to redo this decal, that decal, take the original off the cup. So just hold this very tight. Be very mindful of your positioning. Use your pinkies, flip up that bottom if you need be. And just make sure that you are hovering and you are not letting that middle section, when it bows, you know, bow and hit your decal before you're ready. Now, I am lining up. Make sure you're watching your middle. Make sure you're looking at your sides. Okay, you kind of have to look at everything all at once. Don't just concentrate on your middle, because whereas you could be like, oh, that fits the middle, you could be off just slightly, but yet it still looks straight, and then you're going at an angle. So you want to be sure you are trying to look at everything at once. You want to line that gold right up on the edge of your rainbow. Slowly start laying it down. If there is something off, we can fix it. Like, I can see my M is off right now, but not horribly. I mean, not to where it's going to mess up the entire thing. And then just firmly lay that all down. Now, my M is jacked up right there. So I am putting my A down, my D down, my everything down. I'll even put that side of the M down lightly. Oh, especially on something like this, you want to be very careful, very slow. Because if you're anything like me, you're like, got it. And next thing you know, brrr, no, you don't. So just kind of go very careful. Time is your friend. Pop that little mini A, that middle A section back in there. This part's messed up. That's okay. We're going to fix that. Oopsie. And then just keep laying down as you go. I said lay down. Take your time, take your time, take your time. Okay. So now we look and see if there's anything messed up. This all looks okay. That's the only thing I see that's messed up. Randomness. Okay. And what we're going to do now, we're going to lift this part up a little bit. Oops, come back over here. There you go. And this part, we're going to do that with, oops, a little bit off. Hold on. One moment, please. Come up. Be careful. You don't want your vinyl to come out looking all ragged and jagged like it's been through, you know, the dishwasher, so to speak. All right. And that is how you do that. Now that all the hard work is done, we're going to go ahead, start laying out the poppy prints. Okay, cool.
Now it's time to add the paw prints to the cup. Go ahead and grab your transfer tape, lay it on top of your gold outline, remove the gold outline from its backing, and then basically hover that paw print outline over the corresponding paw print. Line it up so that it is exact, so there's no excess space and around, you know, in between the outline, and then gently remove the paw print from its backing so that you have on your transfer tape the paw print with the gold outline perfectly lined up. Add that to your cup and then just keep doing that for all of your paw prints. Okay, so she's glorious. We love her. I went ahead and sprayed it just a tiny little thing of spray adhesive, nailed down that little thing that was blinking up there. We are going to take off this edge so that, it's kind of hard to do. There we go. Okay.
We're going to sand that down real quick. If I can find my sanding block. Keep in mind, my husband steals all the good ones, leaves me with the ones that are like, you know, 220, which don't sand crap. And he steals the ones that are 60 grit. So, you know, just letting him know. I see him. I see him. So, okay, just make sure that your decals are down. Okay. And let's go ahead and get this epoxy. Go very gentle. You know, these outlines, they're a little delicate, but as long as you have them pressed down pretty firmly, you should be fine. I just always be mindful of that. I don't try to like go all over it, you know what I mean? Make sure you get all those little nooks and crannies. Okay. Blow out your bubbles.
Hey guys, what's up? Look at all of this sparkle. Oh, yes. Okay, so let's talk about this cup. Number one, this is mine. I am stealing it. I love this. I made this specifically for me because, yes, I am the antisocial dog mom. Goodness gracious. Let's talk about this cup. This is fun. This is easy. If I had to grade this or put a level on this as far as being easy or hard, I'm going to put this at, like, let's say maybe a 3 or a 4. And if it's a 4, it's only because of the offset situation. If you are looking for a fun, easy cup to make yourself or somebody else, this is it. You know, it doesn't need to be a dog mom. Maybe you have kitty cats. Maybe you have a baby monkey. Make it your own. This is just a really fun, really super spangly cup, and it's I love it. Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, number one, you'll see in the beginning, I spray painted the base navy blue. Somebody forgot to get more black spray paint. Whoops. So, in this particular cup, that wasn't a really big deal because I knew the entire thing was getting covered in black. It wasn't something that was going to stop the process here. If it was something like white or something like I'm putting pink on pink, obviously, you know what I mean? But like black, we're good. So I also, you'll see too, where I used not only the chunky glitter, but also the fine or small chunky and chunky mix. I just didn't want the entire cup. I'll be honest, I just didn't want to have to fight with the entire cup being chunky glitter. Adding your glitter epoxy method when it's chunky is the game changer. Do not try to sit there and, like, you know, do it any other way, because you'll end up with a cup that looks like a porcupine, and then you've got to go back and try to pat it all down. As much as I don't like normally working in epoxy method for adding glitter, this is definitely a game changer when you're working on something like this. And I just wanted something, I wanted a little bit of dimension as far as, you know, the smaller cut glitter, the chunky glitter. You do you. You want the whole thing to be chunky glitter, go for it. You want it to be something else, that's fine too. If you are somebody who does not blow out your bubbles on every single epoxy layer, I'm not judging. I'm not saying I do that. There's times I have done that. If you do not blow your bubbles out on every layer, okay, do it on this. If you are working with black, especially, but black, navy blue, dark green, you know, anything dark, you need to blow your bubbles out, even on the first layer, the second layer, the third layer, but especially on black, and especially when you have chunky glitter, because the bubbles I find will hide under the chunky glitter and then come out afterwards. So definitely every single layer of your epoxy, hit with that torch and get rid of those micro bubbles. And because if you don't, they will show up. Do not think they won't. They will come to the party and they will be seen. So definitely, if on nothing else on this one, definitely take the time to do that. Now, my number one piece of advice on doing this cup, take your time okay, when it comes to doing your decals. Now, you can lay these decals down two different ways. You can pull up the your rainbow, like you can sit there and put your rainbow decals down and then take, you know, pull up your outlines and put them on, you know, when they're already on the cup. You can do that. Like I have done that. Matter of fact, I think there was a couple points in the video for like the smaller ones, like the bones and the heart, where I just kind of, you know, ran with it and did that. Or you can sit there and, you know, pull your rainbows off, you know, or pull your gold outlines off and then lay them on the rainbow and pull it off and put it on that way. Whichever way works for you is perfectly fine. Like it doesn't really matter. There are, I'm not joking, my silhouette hates me. You know, every tutorial or every like instruction thing I've ever read is like, you know, your silhouette will start cutting your vinyl bakes. You're on like level 1. No, homegirl, mine does not. Mine doesn't cut shit unless it's on level 5 starting. So I don't know if it's just my silhouette. I don't think it's just me. But I love my silhouette. I don't think I could work a Cricut if I had to. So I definitely recommend silhouette, but mine just doesn't want to always work for me. Could possibly be operator error, but we're not going to talk about that. So definitely, you know, if you are smarter than me and you know the proper way to offset, because there is a way, there's tutorials how to, like when you do your offset where you like you do something and it sizes in just like a fraction of a millimeter or whatever, so that it doesn't butt up against your original decal. It kind of like, it's sized to go over it just slightly so you don't see the edges, you know, or it's not as hard to line up. I can't make that work. Like I said, I'm still going to blame the silhouette, but for whatever reason, mine just won't do that. So I just kind of had to improvise, and this is what I came up with. If you know or how to do the right way, or if you're not trusting my way, and I totally get that, but if you want to like do a little search, there are ways to have your machine do it the proper way. If you're like me and yours doesn't do that, then this is how you offset. So do offset outlines. And I'm okay with this. And I've done this for customers, and I've never had anybody come back and be like, that's not over your original decal. And if you ever have somebody say that to you, you don't need that kind of negativity. You don't need those people in your life. Take your time, okay? These gold outlines are delicate, crazy delicate. And when I say that, they're temperamental, okay? You don't want to be like a cowboy and be all like, rip that right off the transfer tape. No, you don't. Don't do that. Be very gentle, because all these little wings, like on the M's and the very tiny little letters, you're going to rip it and you're going to get mad and you're going to have to recut it. So take your time on that. I would like to stop here and give a shout out. We're going to give a little golf clap to my husband. Big Scary Mike saved my ass. I knew this was my cup. Like I knew that. And if you watch enough of my videos, you will see that even when especially if I'm doing epoxy method, I don't sit there and try to like shoot the glitter on the bottom of the cup, because I'm going to tell you what, number one, I'm going to miss half of it. Number two, there's going to be glitter everywhere, and there's already glitter everywhere in my workshop. So I just don't do that. I'll sit there, and once I do the first run of glitter, I will take it off. When it's cured, I'll spray the bottom with spray adhesive, dump it in a pile of glitter, shake it off, make sure there's none on the rim, hit it with spray sealer, move on with life. I totally forgot to do that. I did not care, because again, my cup. Forgot I was doing something special on the bottom. So here I am ready to like finish out this video. And here I am going, because I have a navy blue, not glittered face. And I'm like, you're such a dork. So there I am going into my husband's office. Hi, do you still have UV epoxy? Can you show me how to work the light? So a big shout out, golf clap to Big Scary Mike, because he like begrudgingly came downstairs, put, I'd glittered this, but he did the bottom so I could at least put my decal on there. So props to him. Thank you. Numbers on the bottom. Okay, so I am a dog mama. I have 4. We had 4 in our original pack, and in the last 4 years, we lost 3 of them. I lost my 2 boxers and my big fat bulldog pork chop, and these numbers are a combination of the dates that they all each ran to the Rainbow Bridge. So because I knew this was my cup, we added that. Because even though they're not here, they're with me. They're always with me. All right. I got tattoos everywhere. These are all my dog paws. Okay. They're there. Ah, they're all there. They're there minus the 2 most recent ones. So altogether, both packs combined, there's 7. There were 7 dogs. Not together. That would be too much. I wouldn't be able to handle that. I can barely handle 4. But anyway, so that's what that was. There's really not much more to talk about. Like, it's a very easy cup. You will see, you know, hopefully you did see in the video too, I kind of showed you. It's hard on these videos sometimes because I'm trying to, you know, especially if you're laying down decals, I'm trying to show you how to do it, but I have a camera coming here and I'm trying not to put my big head under the camera so that you can see. And so you'll see at one point, you know, you did see where I went ahead and I laid the decal down. It was totally crooked. You know, and then I was like, here, let me show you how to use the little measuring thing. You know, YouTube, it ain't always easy, so whatever. I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is a really fun cup. It's, you know, you could take this out in the sun and it's just going to blind somebody. But it's a lot of fun. And sometimes you just need an easy cup to do for yourself or do for somebody else. You know, this channel, and sometimes I overthink things and I'm like, oh, we have to have a cup, you know, this week's cup, we're going to do, you know, 27 different techniques and it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And you know what? It's not what this channel is 100% going to be about. I mean, the whole thing with this YouTube channel is to try to help people with all the things that I didn't know when I started. So we're going to have, you know, a video on how to ombre. Let's bring it down to basics, how to ombre. I'm going to have a video about like, here are my favorite products and why. You know, how to do a peekaboo, how to ombre, you know, 2 colors, how to ombre 6 color. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to do the big cups where it's like, you know, 27 steps, but then we're also going to do really easy cups because I think that we all need to, you know, there's a million content creators on YouTube, all right, making tumblers. And there are so many amazing ones. And there's ones that I've learned from. And even though I've learned from, let's say I've learned from the best, I know that the way I do things is going to be a little bit different. And what works for me maybe doesn't work for her. What works for her maybe doesn't work for me. So there's you definitely, whenever you're learning something new, you want to watch different people because everybody brings something different to the table. You know, it's what's going to work best for you. That's why people use spray adhesive. That's why people use Mod Podge. That's why people use epoxy method. There's different ways to do things. And maybe the, you know, the best way, the right way, the, you know, learning from the best whole scenario, teaches you how to get going. And then maybe you put your own spin on it and it works better for you that way. So we are going to do things that are, you know, basic tutorials. And then we're going to be, you know, stupid tutorials where it's, you know, 98 steps, but dang, it's pretty. So, you know, we're going to try to go the whole spectrum there on that. Full disclosure. So, I guess that's pretty much it. You know, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. If you do this cup, if you do anything inspired by this video, you know, tag me if you are looking for any particular tutorials. The last tutorial, I think it was last what I did with the rainbow, you know, tree line, you know, that was from somebody who asked for that particular tutorial on social media. You want to see something, let me know. When I was not joking, when I say I have lists of stuff that we're going to be going through, I kind of had a little bit of a, and I just started, we're going to do this and this and this and this and this. So if you are looking for something, a particular tutorial that you want to add it to the list, let me know. Add it in the comments below. You know, send me a message on social media, whatever makes you happy. I am everywhere. So definitely come find me. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Good luck with your cup. I hope you have fun with it. I hope you love it. And we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.